Good morning, you lovely, lovely people. And I'd just like to say, if you're in the Philippines up the north, I hope you're keeping safe. I want to talk a couple of things today. One about the banking systems here, and the other about my overstay. So, first off, I'll talk about my overstay, I think, which was a worrying time. And I see John also from British Expat in the Philippines had a issue as well, which is since being resolved, and it looks like we both used the same company, which was JRC Visa Consultancy and Real Estate. Now they do. So first off, I'd like to tell you what happened and how it happened. It was during the time of COVID, and I was due to renew my visa, because at the time I wasn't on a 13A, I was only on a tourist visa. I think it's a 9A. Is it a 9A visa? Anyway, um, I was due to renew it, and it was closed because of COVID, the restrictions, how we're housebound, and we just couldn't get out. Anyway, this went on for a while, so I was getting a bit concerned because my 3 years was up. So not only was I overstaying, late visas, I was still in the country, and I should have left. Now, so you can imagine the worry and the concern that I had. I was thinking the worst. I was thinking deportation, blacklist, couldn't back, can't come back to the Philippines. But when they did open, and I went to, and it was only in a satellite office here in Dipolog City, and I went in to see Marek and told him the situation. So he said, "How long have you overstayed?" I said, "Well, I was due to leave 6 months ago." So he said, "Oh," he's like that. "Oh, oh." So he said, "You're going to have to go to the main office in Manila and sort it out." And at this time, I didn't know JRC, Visa Consultancy. And I am bigging them up because they are a great company. So I was a bit scared. I will be honest, people, I was a lot scared. So I thought, do I go to Manila on my own and try and sift through all of the red tape? And I don't know. But I was looking online, and I see on YouTube, actually, I saw that there was a couple of other overstayers, and the company who they use, it was JRC. So I used them, and called them up, made an appointment, went to see them, took all my documents that they requested me to, and paid the fee. And I can't remember what it was. I think it was 35,000 pesos. Now you might think it's a lot of money. Was that what it was? 35,000? I think it was. Might have been 37. It was either 35 or 37. Can't quite remember. But I went to see them. You can imagine, can't you? My little artie's doing this. My little artie's, because I'm not only overstaying, I've overstayed the 3 years as well. So I went to see them, and the girl that dealt with me, she's very, very friendly and smiling, which put me at ease a little bit. And told her the reason. And during this time as well, people, which was terrible, is my sister died, and I couldn't get out the country, even if I wanted to get out the country, because she died when my 3 years wasn't up. But I couldn't get out the country because of the restrictions, and there was no airplanes flying in or out. So I missed that as well, and I still think about that to this day, and I still got guilt about that. But there was nothing I could do about that because there was no planes coming in or out, and there was total restrictions. Couldn't even get out of here, never mind get out of the country. So anyway, after seeing this girl, from the company, and she kind of put my mind at rest. But what happened was, at this particular time, the Morena, he was the commissioner of immigration, but they just changed to the new guy, who also has gone now. So it's another new guy. And apparently this new guy who was after the other one was more strict. And because he was a new guy, you see, so, you know, like a new broom sweeps clean and all that sort of stuff. And I said, well, what's my chances? And she said, you got a good chance because, you know, you've got like a legitimate reason. But of course, you know, you think the worst, or I always think the worst about things. Don't know why, especially when it comes to official things. I always think the worst. So here's me planning of being deported and blacklisted and things like that. So she filed my case and the motion of consideration, and it took a while. I think it took about 3 months, something like that. And so you know, you can imagine in these 3 months I'm like past myself. So I'm phoning up JRC every 3 weeks, and they were sending me messages and, you know, trying to put my mind at rest. But as she said, although it's a good case that I have, she isn't the one making the decision, so it's up to the commissioner. Well, it came through, and she sent me a message the day before, and she said, your case is being dealt with, we're waiting for the decision. That's all. And this was in the evening time. This was about 5-6 o'clock, you know, the previous day before they gave her the order. Now, in this time, I got married, and the marriage was cancelled because of the COVID, because, you know, there was no way open to get married, and we had all the documents ready. You know, the affidavit and everything. I was apostled. All of our documents was apostled. So we were waiting for a new date to get married. So we got married in between waiting for all of this, and that went on my record as I was married here. I had a child, so all that went for me as well. But it still doesn't alter the commissioner's decision if he's in a bad mood that day. And it goes through a number of people. It goes through, I think there's about 5 or 6 signatures on my order that I got. So it goes through different attorneys, and they accepted it, and it went to the commissioner, and I got the message back, a phone call actually, and she said, "Good news, Stephen. It's been accepted." Ah, oh, fantastic, brilliant, thank you. I saw my wife and I said, oh, "It's okay. They aren't deporting me. They have accepted my motion of consideration." And I didn't know what the payments were. She said, "I don't know what they are yet." So she went, or not her, but someone from the company went down, and it was quite a lot of money. I think I paid, including the 35 or 37,000. I think I paid around about 100. This is inclusive, and this was like 2 years overstay. Okay, this went up to 2 years now, and I think I paid about 100 and 110, 20, 30, about 135,000 pesos all in. That was my overstay, the fines, the visa consulting agency fees, and everything like that. And they only gave you 2 weeks to pay it. Okay. Now the order on me was because I was applying then, or they gave me 90 days, and then I had to leave the country. If you are not on a 13A, they can give you a few days, 10 days, 15 days. It's not a lot of time before you have to leave the country, but they give me 90 days to sort my 13A visa out. Again, I used JRC to do that, and that was brilliant. And I would like to stipulate, guys, when you apply for a 13A here in the Philippines, you don't get granted permanent residency straight away. You get a 1-year probationary. Okay, so you get a probationary for 1 year. And at that time, there was no interviews because it was still restricted. So I applied for that, and that was accepted. That was accepted, and I can't remember what the fee for that was. I can't remember. I think that was 37,000. I think. Well worth it. Well worth it. So that was accepted. I got my probationary, so I didn't have to leave the country. And then when you go for the amendment after 1 year, there was the interviews then. And I thought it was just going to be a given. I thought these interviews were going to be very, very simple and basic, because you're married, you've got children, you got a place here. But anyway, the interview was quite intense, people. And there was the lady from JRC, because they've got these agents in the immigration who wait for you, and they greet you, and they just take you through every step of the process. They are very great people, honestly. And she said, because I said to her, I said, oh, I'm a bit worried about this, the interview. And she said, no, she says, just answer the questions. And she says, but there are 2 interviewers. One's an oldish guy and strict, and the other one is a newish guy and not so strict. Well, who did I get? Of course, I got the older guy, didn't I? The one who was strict, and he was just firing questions at us. Well, at me. He was talking to me first. Firing questions. And I answered all the questions as best as I possibly could. Then he started talking in Visaya to my wife. And the questions he was asking my wife were, how do I get on with my neighbours? Is your husband good to you? Is he a good husband? Is he a good father? In their language. And the questions he was asking me were, what I like about the place. Have I got my own house here, or our own house? Do I like the food here? It was question after question, and there was no expression on his face, no smile, no nothing. And the previous people who had been in before me, because there was 5 of us that day. There was 5 of us going for the permanent. The ones who went in before me were refused. They were refused their 13A. So you can imagine me, I'm thinking, I'm going to be number 4. I'm going to be the 4th one who's being rejected. But anyway, there was a list in front of him with our names. And at the end of the interview, he said, you go over there for your biometrics. I said, I've had that done with my probationary. And he didn't tell me if I'd been approved. So I had to ask him, I says, is it approved, sir? He said, yes, approved, no problem. And then he smiled, he changed his tone, you could see he was doing his job, people. He was just making sure that we aren't here trying to get a permanent residency through a sham marriage. That's what they were doing. And they went through my phone. They went through my wife's phone. He did. He went through. Took the phone and went through it. Look at all the pictures. Anyway, we was approved on that. So now I don't have to worry about overstay or anything like that. But it was a worrying time. And I would say, people, the Philippines has quite a laxy-daisy. Or I wouldn't say laxy-daisy, but I would say they are very lenient. If you are an overstayer, I would seriously recommend you go to see them. They're not bad. What they're interested in is getting their money back. They are just interested in getting the money. But I guarantee you, as I was told, if you are an overstayer and you don't sort it yourself, and when immigration come knocking on your door, you won't have the option of filing for a motion of consideration. You will be held in that place in Manila. You will be deported and blacklisted. That's a guarantee. I was told that from the girl in JRC. She said, if you hadn't have come here, and they will find you eventually. They might not find you for years and years and years, but it only takes a disgruntled person, Filipino or a foreigner, to call immigration and say, there's an overstayer here, and they will come and get you. They will come and get you as sure as eggs are eggs. They will. So I would recommend you guys to, if you are overstaying, please sort it out. And I'm sure they will not deport you. You'll have a good enough reason, but don't leave it too long, because the money builds up and builds up, and the fines build up, and it can cost quite a lot of money. Now, that being done, banking systems here. Now, I'm with the land bank, okay, and I've never had a problem with them apart from queues. There's always lots of queues because it's a government bank, and they do a lot of they get the Pantaway there, the IORDA people who go there for their payments every 3 months, and there's always a lot of people there. But what I'm going to say is a land bank, because I get my money sent to the land bank. It's an international money transfer, people, and it takes forever It takes forever. It's never on time. It's sent on time. It's always sent on time, but by the time it goes through all of the, these intermediary banks, and it goes into the land bank, and then at the main office in Manila, then it gets sent to my bank here. It takes a long time. So if you are relying on money all the time, you're like every month, I wouldn't advise going through the land bank, because it can take up to 10 days. I've waited 10 days for a payment, which should have taken between 1 and 5 days. And it's always been the issue with this land bank. It always takes a long time. I don't know about other banks. I don't know how you people get your money here. I mean, if you get your pensions or whatever it is directed into a bank account here, I don't know how long it takes for you to receive your money, but I've been told if there is different banks here. The Metro Bank, I've been told, is quite good, where international bank transfers, was it EF, like electronic fund transfers, EFTs, they take 2 days in their banks. But me with the land bank, the earliest it's ever been in is 5 business days. That's the earliest. Now, it's never in on 5 business days, and it can be quite annoying. Like now, I'm waiting for a payment now, actually. That's why I thought I would bring this up, because I thought, is it going to be on time this month? And it was sent on time, but still haven't received it. And today, because of the typhoon, all of the government buildings, and don't forget, the land bank is a government bank, they're all closed today. Because I phoned the bank, my bank up, my local bank, and I said, can you contact again the main office, just to see if the payment has arrived and it's is being held there before it gets chucked into my account here. And she says, I'm sorry, sir, but the land banks in Manila are all closed today due to the typhoon, so she can't check that out for me until Monday. Because I used to get my money sent through Western Union, but all of a sudden, about a year ago, they just they didn't close my account, but they refused accepting international payments to me. So I had to go somewhere else. Then I used Wise for a while. I had a bit of problem with Wise, and I thought, no, I'm just going to get it paid directly into my bank here. Now, it always arrives, people. It always arrives, but it's never on time. It's always late. So I don't know how you people, there's a lot of people that use World Remittance and Remitty and all them sort of things, and you're probably better off using them. Don't know what the payments are on them, but my bank doesn't charge me a lot for the for the international payments. It just takes time. It's just the inconvenience of it. So just be aware of that. If you have a money paid, or you're thinking about it having been paid into a local bank account here, just be reminded of the time frames. It takes longer than anywhere else. And that's it, folks, really. Like I said, I hope wherever you are, you're keeping safe with these typhoons. It's a damn bad one, and we've only got the rains and the winds. We haven't got anything really severe here in Mindanao, but further up there is. Take care, people. God bless you all, and like I said, stay safe and healthy. Bye bye.